What's up, Acolyte Squad? My name is Prince, and I'm an urban acolyte. And the word on the street is that I'm getting a Star Wars show. No, for real. There was a lot of stuff dropped regarding the future of Star Wars at the Disney investors call. That was on I guess it was Thursday afternoon for you guys. It was early Friday morning for me, so I was asleep, and then we were getting up to load up the trucks and move here to Bangkok. So I really haven't, I've heard about things coming. I haven't really checked it out because I've been getting unpacked and moved and everything else. Some people were hitting me up on Twitter like, yo man, I want to see your thoughts regarding the new shows and everything. So StarWars.com is officially released all of the news there. So I'm going to go through it with you guys. This is my first time seeing most of this stuff. So I'm going to take a look at what their little press release, and then I'll give you my thoughts once I have time to see everything. Of course, it's probably going to take a few days for me to digest it, but this is kind of a reaction to the news that came out from the investors call. All right. Sorry if I'm kind of like delayed a little bit. You guys know, or maybe you don't know, that I said, hey man, let's do a urban acolyte, acolyte squad fitness challenge. Nobody's been checking in, but I'm still keeping up with it, even though I left my whiteboard. That was the only thing that didn't make the move. I left my whiteboard where I was tracking my workout progress. But we're doing 200 kettlebell swings a day. I'm using a 20 kg. It's 20 kilograms because that's the heaviest kettlebell I have. We're doing 200 a day, 6,000 for the month. And then in 2021, I'll do something a little bit more official as far as these fitness challenges. If you don't care about that kind of thing, hey man, that's cool. But hey man, we're going to be the Star Wars community, the geek culture community that gets in shape together, because those were some of the principles that Urban Acolyte was founded upon. And now I gotta get back to my roots as far as the meditation, training the body, training the mind, right? Urban Acolyte is all about being the acolyte, is all about becoming the most powerful force user that you can be. Notice I said the acolyte because that's something that's coming. Let's jump off into this article though. We're doing this off the dome style, so I'm just kind of clicking around on the fly. All right, so the future Lucasfilm projects revealed. This came out December the 10th. It is December the 14th for me, so I guess I'm 4 days behind, but if you don't know, then it's all new to you. Let's get ready for Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron film, an Ahsoka Tano live-action series, the return of Hayden Christensen, and much, much more. And that return of Hayden Christensen, it's great that that's official, but like I posted about that on Instagram a long time ago. Let me make myself a little bit smaller over here. All right, see, hey man, we're doing all this on the fly, off the dome style, right? It's not all polished and everything. We're not going to fix it in post-production in Premiere Pro. All right, so today at the Walt Disney Company's Investors Day event, Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy announced a staggering number of new films, series, and surprises that will expand the Star Wars galaxy like never before. Rogue Squadron, the next Star Wars feature film, will be Rogue Squadron, directed by Patty Jenkins, who directed Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 1984 that I'm hoping to see in theaters here in Thailand. The story will introduce a new generation of starfighter pilots as they earn their wings and risk their lives in a boundary-pushing, high-speed thrill ride, and move the saga into the future era of the galaxy. Move the saga into the future era of the galaxy. So when is this taking place? Because it sounded like this is post Rise of Skywalker, which could be interesting. The quote is, "It's been a lifelong dream as a filmmaker to one day make a great fighter pilot film," said Jenkins. "As the daughter of a great fighter pilot myself, some of the best memories of my life are of seeing my father's squadron take off in their F4s every morning and hearing and feeling the awe-inspiring power and grace. When he passed away in service to this country, it ignited a burning desire to one day channel all of those emotions into one great film. When the perfect story arrived in combination with another true love of mine, the incomparable world of Star Wars, I knew I'd finally found my next film. I'm extremely honored and excited to take it on, and grateful to Lucasfilm, Disney, and the fans for extending that thrill to me. Patty has established herself as one of the top directors working in the film industry today, said Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy. She's a visionary who knows how to strike the balance between action and heart, and I can't wait to see what she does in the Star Wars galaxy. Lock S-Foils in attack position. Rogue Squadron arrives in theaters Christmas 2023. So we got 3 years to go before we see this movie. All right, here's what is this? This is some kind of little snippet or teaser.
I love to move fast and speed of any kind.
This is from Patty Jenkins.
I think that that's because I grew up the daughter of a great fighter pilot, and every day I would wake up and go outside and look up, see my father and his squadron taking off and their F4s roaring across the sky, and it was the most thrilling thing
basically what she just said
in my entire life. So when he lost his life in service to this country, it ignited a desire in me to turn all of that tragedy and thrill into one day making the greatest fighter pilot movie of all time.
So she wants to make a fighter pilot movie.
And look as I did,
but
I couldn't find the right story ever. I kept looking and looking.
Instead of F4, she's going to be making it with X-Wings.
Now I found a movie about two things I love.
Star Wars and fighter pilots. So I mean, I'm really wondering, okay, so she's all into it, but I'm Rogue Squadron. Like, what era is this gonna be? Oh, there's the X-Wing. What era is this gonna be set in? I know there's a Rogue Squadron game or something from Legends, and from what I'm hearing, this isn't gonna be the Rogue Squadron game appearing on the big screens, right? So, you know, your Legends fans or fans of the game, that's not what it's gonna be. And that touches on something that if I had started doing this back in 2012, 2013, I would have said that, hey man, it's awesome that we have, you know, decades of stories in the Legends canon. But for one, the people who actually have read that stuff, who followed it, who know it inside and out, what's the big draw for them? They already know the story. So, well, you want to go and see it played out on the big screen, the story that you already know what's going to happen, right? If it's an adaptation from the book, well, I mean, what movie adaptation from a book has ever been as good as the book? Maybe there are some, but I haven't seen too many, right? I'm thinking in particular this one book that I read when I was in the Navy, out to sea, back when I still read books. Now I do Kindles and e-readers and stuff. That's just, I'm better with those, right? That's my personal preference, right? But this was one of the last physical books that I read cover to cover that wasn't like a religion book or something. Cause, you know, if you're brand new here, hey man, I majored in religion. I was getting a master's 2 times in further religious studies, a master's of divinity at 2 different schools. And, you know, depending on how my YouTube career goes, I would love to use, you know, some of that money if I became a YouTube millionaire, or it wouldn't even have to be a millionaire, to further my studies, right? But so that's something that I'm passionate about. I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought. Cause do you need me to help you find it? Huh. Sorry, my wife is looking for the cord to her computer. Let me push on through this, and then I'm gonna help her find that if she doesn't find it. So if you hear something in the background, that's her looking through everything that we packed up. Because I probably packed up her cord because I had a bunch of cords up here. If that doesn't work, I know one of the cords to my light will fit that. One of the lights that I'm not using. I may accidentally packed it with my lights. All right, so let's look at this untitled Taika Waititi film that we'd heard something about. All right, so a brand new Star Wars feature with acclaimed filmmaker and Academy Award winner Taika Waititi is in development. Taika's approach to Star Wars will be fresh, unexpected, and unique, said Kennedy. His enormous talent and sense of humor will ensure that audiences are in for an unforgettable ride. So that might be the first like comedy Star Wars film, or a film that's going to have a lot of comedy in it. You know, I know it's not going to happen, but if there were going to be a movie that really dealt with Finn, the way that Taika Waititi is dealing with Thor, and the fact that John Boyega being the savant on the screen and on the stage, and his presence that he has, the true savant of acting. He's like a young Denzel Washington, right? That's my Stephen A. Smith. I think that they could make some magic happen if Taika Waititi was like, I'm going to make a Finn film. And I know some of y'all, well, I want it to be Finn and Poe, but it needs to be Finn's adventure. Very, very minimal Rey, right? Because I like Rey's character, but I like Rey's character because I think she's badass. No, you know, some people, the Mary Jane thing, that can come up. Look, if you feel that way, that's fine. If you have the Mary Jane argument with me, you're never going to win. You can put all you want in the comments in the Facebook groups. You're never going to win that argument with me, right? And you say, well, Prince, you're never going to look. I'm not trying to convince you of anything, right? I mean, whose name is on the channel? This guy, not yours. This guy's name is on the channel, right? These are my opinions, right? And I'm just saying, like, it doesn't matter. I don't say things to sway or to convince you or anything like that. I just say, hey, look, this is what I think, right? And what I think is the Mary Sue argument. You're never going to win that with me, probably because everyone that's tried to raise that argument, I know Rey's story better than they do, right? So, I mean, even Ben Shapiro, people are, oh, I would love to see you get destroyed by Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro just talks fast. You can talk fast and not say a goddamn thing, right? Which is, when the man opens his mouth about Star Wars, he's just talking fast about nothing, right? Just to stay relevant. And the only people that buy it are his fans, who basically are going to buy whatever he says, right? Well, you know what? I think the sky is brown, right? It's doo-doo brown, right? It's nasty, like that P word, right? And the sky is brown, and you guys, you know it. And anybody who convinces you or says otherwise that the sky isn't brown, right? It's because they want the downfall of Western society. That's what they want. All right. Little Ben Shapiro moved to Nashville after I left. I'm not going to say anything else because apparently the last time I said something that might happen to Ben Shapiro, some little bitches went and told YouTube, and they affected the monetization of that video. But it is what it is. Right. All right. So Obi-Wan Kenobi, this Obi-Wan Kenobi series, that was a movie that Stephen Daldry was supposed to have been attached to. I remember that news broke because I was sitting with Alex and Molly from Star Wars Explains down in the A at an official YouTube event, and we were both like, oh man, we gotta go somewhere and like record our videos, right? He was like, yeah, we need to hurry up and get this session over with so we can go home and record. And I recorded my video like in the passenger seat of my car with a camcorder that doesn't work anymore. But we're finally getting this Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Hayden Christensen is returning as Anakin. You all right? Is returning as Anakin Skywalker. Hold on, you guys. Oh, I think. All right. I don't remember where I left off. But anyway, let's get to this Obi-Wan Kenobi thing. All right. So last August at D23 Expo, Lucasfilm announced the return of Ewan McGregor in the iconic role of Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi for a special event series on Disney Plus. Officially titled Obi-Wan Kenobi, the series begins 10 years after the dramatic events of Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, where he faced his greatest defeat, the downfall and corruption of his best friend and Jedi apprentice, Anakin Skywalker, turned evil Sith Lord Darth Vader. The series is directed by Deborah Chow, who helmed memorable episodes of The Mandalorian Season 1. This will truly be a day long remembered, as it was confirmed that Hayden Christensen will be returning as Darth Vader. This will be the rematch of the century, Kennedy said. It was such an incredible journey playing Anakin Skywalker, said Christensen. Of course, Anakin and Obi-Wan weren't on the greatest of terms when we last saw them. It will be interesting to see what an amazing director like Deborah Chow has in store for us all. I'm excited to work with Ewan again. It feels good to be back. And this one has a lot of people, I guess, confused, because what I heard, at least, is that there was mention of a conflict where Obi-Wan actually does leave Tatooine, and there is a rematch between Vader and Obi-Wan, so that it raises a question about the statement that Vader makes, the line that Vader says in A New Hope when he was like, I sense a presence, one I have not felt since, and he kind of like leaves it kind of open-ended. Now, George Lucas said that it was at least his desire that Obi-Wan Kenobi never leaves Tatooine, and I guess apparently he never sees Vader again until from, the last time he saw him was when Anakin got burned in a volcano, basically, and then when he sees him again is, in A New Hope, they're on the Death Star. But hey man, like when George Lucas first told that story in 1977, there was no Darth Maul. Darth Maul died in The Phantom Menace, but then George Lucas realized he made a mistake in getting rid of such a cool character that would appeal to the fans the way he did so quickly, right? And he was like, is there more story to tell? Sure, there's more story to tell. And what a lot of people seem to have missed is that the Legends character Prince Zizor, who I think was over, not Crimson Dawn, but Black Sun, I think, if my memory serves me correctly. And he was Force sensitive. He was a crime boss who was over an entire crime syndicate and Force sensitive, but never became a Jedi, never got to participate in that, right? That path was closed to him. And now you give his story to Darth Maul, who is Force sensitive and was supposed to be, the apprentice, the person who helped Darth Sidious accomplish his goals. That's who he planned, that he was the guy, right? That Sidious planned to do all of this stuff with. And he fell there on Naboo, but the dark side preserved him, even though it broke his mind. His hatred for Obi-Wan Kenobi allowed him to continue, because that's what the dark side does, right? They cling to physical immortality no matter what the costs are. And that's, just punching back at the people talking about Mace Windu. That's why Mace Windu wouldn't survive, right? Is that he was beaten. It's his time to go, and, it's time to become one with the Force, to give up the ghost, right? And if they, Mace Windu channeled the dark side, and that's not canon. I told you guys in the video several videos ago that the fighting form that Mace Windu used, that was just a variation of the fighting style that the Sith used that was based on strength. The only difference is you don't give yourself completely over to battle. You remain centered and neutral. It doesn't mean anything about, oh, well, see, you have to use the dark side of the Force and then the light side, and you have to stay balanced. Being neutral is not the same thing as being balanced, right? Being neutral is being neutral. Those words aren't interchangeable. Hey, you found it. She found it, y'all. Where was it? It was in her suitcase. Aha! Aha! Where's the soup? Where's the soup? Just taste the soup. Where's the soup? Where's the spoon? Aha! Aha! Where's the spoon? Aha! It was in her suitcase. We tore up the office studio, as Nisa calls it, the workroom. Tore it all up, and it was in her suitcase the whole time. Aha! Right, so the big question with this Obi-Wan series, hey man, it's good to have Hayden back, and hey man, this is why, this is why you guys, you need to take care of yourselves, right? Get up on that fitness challenge, right? Because Revenge of the Sith, that was 15 years ago. This brother looks like he could be, 24, 25-year-old Anakin Skywalker now. Because please believe, they're dealing with Obi-Wan 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. He's meditating. He's in his hermit mode. He's in communion. Now, what I want to know is if they're going to have Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon, either as a voiceover or what. Because Qui-Gon, we know he doesn't stay a disembodied voice forever. He can materialize a body through the Force. If you didn't know that, you need to read from a certain point of view. Right? You need to get up on that, because we find there that when you're a Force ghost, you can continue to train in the ways of the Force, because there's always deeper levels. And that's straight up Taoism. It's straight up something that John Chang, Dynamo Jack taught in the Mopai. Oh, while I'm on the subject, I want to give a shout out to those of you who would roll your eyes and everything else when I talk about like Taoist Neigong, especially the Mopai school, because I had no idea that there are like Mopai students who watch the channel, who, been contacting me. Matter of fact, there's a new Mopai student who trained with John Chang. Costas told me that not every Western student got sick. This dude popped up on the radar. I'm not going to, I know where he lives. I'm not going to say that here, but it was some information that was relayed to me by the person who kind of jump started this whole thing by telling me about his teacher, who was Sher K. Lu, real life Jedi dude who passed on, became one with the Force. Was that 2013? It seemed like, I don't think it was, but it might have been around that time that Master Lu passed on, Sifu Lu. Yeah, he had told me a lot of stuff about John Chang from his meeting with John's student Jim McMillan, and it's all like years later, it's all panning out, right? Stuff. I learned about all of that stuff after, in 2006, so a year after Revenge of the Sith, right? So that's a testament to take care of yourself, because you never know when, it helps a lot. They don't have to de-age this dude or anything. He still looks like he could be Anakin. And if you've seen that Kung Fu movie he was in with Nicolas Cage, I think his sword fighting might be better too. So I fully expect the choreography to be better when they actually have Hayden and Ewan on there, and not stunt doubles. All right, so here's one we're not surprised. We've been predicting this one for I don't know how long. But Ahsoka Tano spinoff, I did a video on this way back when, but I was thinking it might be animated. It's even better that it's live action. So after making her live action, or her long-awaited live-action debut in The Mandalorian, Ahsoka Tano's story, written by Dave Filoni, will continue in a limited series starring Rosario Dawson and executive produced by Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. And it says written by Dave Filoni, along with them being he and Jon Favreau being the executive producers on this, right? So I feel like Favreau, I want to go back to Alex, not Star Wars Explained Alex. What's that? Alex Becker, right? Alex Becker, who was really just trying to rile up Star Wars fans and geeks to buy his little mass mailing software, right? Buy his courses on drop shipping, right? I know all about what Alex Becker was doing because one of the marketing people behind it was one of the people I was working with. What's up, Josue? Alex, if you're watching, yeah. Jose told me all about what you were doing, what you were really doing. But, he was raising hell and people agreed with him, and I clapped back at him, and he saw the video and he kind of backed down in the comments. I'm pretty sure that I pinned his comment at the top of the video. It might be private because I'm going back through and moving videos around, changing stuff on the back end. So it's still there. It just might be private because I haven't gotten to it yet. Hey man, I got like 800 videos here, right? And my view counts are off because, I had somebody tell me I don't get views, and I'm like, what you mean I don't get views? I was getting views when I was consistently uploading. I stopped getting views when I stopped consistently uploading, right? But at any moment, any video is liable to break out 100K, 500K, a million views, right? But Alex kept saying, why can't Star Wars do what Marvel is doing? And I said, well, how do you know that they aren't? How do you know that they aren't trying to wrap up this Skywalker story, the Skywalker saga, and then that's what's coming next, right? You can't start griping about stuff when you don't know the flavor of the Kool-Aid, right? You don't know the flavor that's coming out next year, right? It might not even be Kool-Aid. You might be sipping on iced tea. Chama now, right? That's some time for y'all, right? You don't know. So, I'm not saying shut up and enjoy it, but I'm kind of saying, when you start, folks got to be mindful, right? And you're like, well, I don't like this, and how come they aren't doing that? You don't know what's going on in the boardroom, and these channels calling for Kathleen Kennedy's head, and people calling for Kathleen Kennedy in the comments of my videos. You won't see that a lot because some of the stuff is just straight up vulgar, and if you're one of those people that to say stuff that I can't even say because it'll get the video demonetized, and I'm not about to do that for you, somebody I don't even know, somebody who can't even leave comments on the channel because you've been blocked, right? I don't tolerate that kind of language and those kind of thoughts about somebody who you're never gonna meet. And I mean, it goes back to the biggest problem, that I see on the internet, and that's that people feel they can say whatever they want to say with no repercussions. They're not going to get smacked in the mouth for talking all that noise, right? And since I'm talking about people talking noise, this brings us to another new project, Star Wars Rangers of the New Republic. This is set within the timeline of The Mandalorian. This new live-action series from executive producers Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni will intersect with future stories and culminate in a climactic story event. I'm wondering what that climactic story event is, because I can see this being something I said back when all the Solo, make Solo 2 happen, Solo boycott this and all of that. I said, look, man, you need to tell story. This is when I first started talking about the Filoni verse. I don't know if I was the first. I really don't care, right? But, I didn't get the idea of the Filoni verse from anyone as far as me saying it, that was original, right? I never heard anybody else say it, but I wasn't watching anyone. I'm not taking credit for it. All I'm saying is that multiple people can have the same independent thought, right? They can work independently and arrive at the same conclusion is what I'm saying, without colluding together to get there, right? Get me? How y'all like that comeback? All right, so what I said back in 2017, maybe 2018, I don't remember. When did Solo come out? 2018? I was like, look, man, you tell stories for the small screen to set up something for the big screen. Now, whatever Hollywood is doing, I don't know if y'all in America are ever going to go back to theaters or not. We got movie theaters here, and, you know, apparently there's like not really, COVID is not really a thing here, because we believe in lockdowns and wearing masks. If you don't, you just don't. But we do here, but this is also a place, a lot of Asian countries where wearing masks was something that people had been doing. So it's like, yo, everybody's got to wear a mask. Okay, no big deal. We've been doing it anyway, right? You know, so I don't know if that part will happen where it's like, yo, man, you tell all these Disney Plus, I think at that time I was calling it like the digital streaming service, the streaming shows, you get the diehard fans all talking about it, excited about it, and then boom, you drop a movie on them, and you use this to sell the future of Star Wars, right? Maybe this Rangers of the New Republic thing could play into this Patty Jenkins Rogue Squadron movie that's coming. But what I think this is, and I said this is where I'm gonna touch on people talking smack. We've already seen somebody who's a Ranger of the New Republic, and that's Cara Cynthia Dune. I mentioned this in my Mandalorian episode review, which at the time that I'm recording this, y'all haven't seen it, but by the time this video goes live, you probably will have seen that, or unless you're just like, Prince, you're late with your review, I'm not watching that shit. And, you know, hey man, do you. You know, personally, kiss my ass, but do you don't have to watch it, right? But in that, I was like, look, man, like Cara Dune is already a Ranger of the New Republic. That was like when the pilot dude, the cosplayer, he's actually a legit actor, but he also happens to be in the 501st, right? I think he's in a show with Simu Liu, who's playing Shang-Chi, right? He's in a show with him. I didn't know he was a real actor. You know, people made it, oh yeah, this guy who was in the 501st, they just put him in The Mandalorian. That's not what happened at all. He's a real actor, and he also happens to be in the 501st, the cosplayers, and he got cast in The Mandalorian, right, as a, you know, Dave Filoni sidekick, you know, pilot. So he slapped down the little badge, Cara Dune, like, yo, man, we could use some people out here, because she's already the sheriff of what's the planet on Navarro, the city where Grief Karga is, where, you know, at the end of season 1, he was like, you know, I could use an enforcer like you, and, you know, now she's the sheriff on there on Navarro, and then now she's a Ranger of the New Republic. So all these people cancel Gina Carano. All these little freaking SJW geeks who were like, oh, I'm glad that you were barely in the trailer. I'm glad. I hope your character dies. I hope they fire you. And I'm like, y'all don't know what's coming, man. Y'all don't know what's coming. You should shut up, man, because you're going to end up sounding stupid. This is why, if somebody's in something and you don't agree with their politics, look, man, just shut the fuck up. Like, don't confuse their character in make believe with who they are in real life. If you don't like Gina Carano because of the beat bop boop thing, or that she thinks, you know, she doesn't believe in the outcome of the election, or maybe she voted for Donald Trump. Look, I don't give a fuck who she voted for, right? If she thinks that that the mail-in votes were fake. Okay, well then I'm just not going to pay attention to what she says about politics on Twitter. I'm following her because, well, one, I'm following her because my friend put her in his first movie. Or no, put her in her first movie. Yeah, that's right. It wasn't his first movie. If you're wondering, it's Blood and Bone, right? She had a short part in Blood and Bone. She tried to give her number to Michael Jai White after he kicked the crap out of those guys in one fight scene. My big cousin Ben Ramsey cast her. He said she was great. He said she's a wonderful person. He'd love to work with her in the future, right? He gave her first shot, right? She was just pretty face in MMA who got wrecked by Chris Cyborg, right? If you want to clown her about something, it's like, hey man, you got your ass kicked by Chris Cyborg, and she's probably gonna say, and guess what? You probably would too. Some of you dudes too. I ain't gonna lie. I wouldn't want to go 3 minutes, 5 minutes MMA rounds with Chris Cyborg, right? I'm not even, I just don't, right? I don't want to take the chance that I might get wrecked by Cyborg. Right? I don't even want to take the chance. Right? Anyway, let's move. So what I was saying though is like, Cara Dune is not Gina Carano. Gina Carano portrays the character. That's it. Right. So I don't understand why. And it's not just the SJW folks either. So I'm not getting on. And when I'm talking about SJWs, I'm talking about people who have all this, they have this social media justice idea. Yeah, I'm fighting for justice on social media, but not in real life. Right. Some of the folks that I know who actually write for Star Wars, I've been critical of them. I've thrown them in that SJW conversation on YouTube, and people, oh man, I see you're grifting. No, man, that's enticing you to click on the video, right? Oh man, angry, liberal-minded Star Wars fans are upset about the portrayal of, I don't know, something. Nobody's gonna click on the damn video, man. Sometimes you gotta be a slick marketer, man. YouTube is all about marketing. It's not clickbait. There's a difference between clickbait and being a good marketer. Clickbait is what Mike Zero does. And I know, hey, Mr. Esquire, attorney, black brother, I'm proud of you for being who you are, but you like, hey man, Mike Zero's paying rent and you're living rent free in your head. Dog, do you know that the most watched channel at one point in time, I don't know now, like I'd have to give that IQ, but at one point in time, Mike Zero's channel was the most watched channel of people who watch my videos. Right now, it's now because YouTube has a thing that they show you now, and now it looks like it's like Den of Nerds and Star Wars Theory, and I guess because Den of Nerds and Star Wars Theory have their little, I don't know, Den of Theories thing that they do, and maybe a lot of Den of Nerds people are starting to watch me. Maybe he's encouraging, I don't know, right? But at one point in time, that was it, and it was like, and I was all constantly having to deal with, well, Mike, well, I heard this was going to happen, Prince, what do you think? And I'm like, where did you hear that? And it would be Mike Zero. Or just like now, I'm reading an article, right? Maybe you're brand new. There was a time I would say, hey man, I'm gonna make a video and discuss this article, and then it's like, where's their source? Oh, YouTuber with inside credentials, with sources inside Lucasfilm, the YouTuber Mike Zero. And I'm like, fuck, Mike Zero didn't have any inside, nothing, right? The only thing inside he has is lint inside his belly button, right? So that's why I mentioned it, because part of it is just me being an asshole, right? I'm being funny, but like for real, like Zero ain't got no inside nothing, right? And then, why do you hate on Mike Zero? Mike Zero watches my channel. I'm not hating on him. I'm just telling him the way it is, right? I want to watch my videos and cry. I want him to be scared to click on the video. Is Prince going to talk about me in this video and tell everybody the truth? But it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I read a comment, maybe it was an old comment, and it was like, It was like, hey man, he's making 200K a year to clickbait folks. Now I don't know what that man makes. I don't even want to waste my time trying to figure, because I can come up with a good idea of how much people make. But you know, sometimes, you know, you just go on Social Blade. Social Blade inaccurate, right? Social Blade inaccurate. I remember when I had my best month on YouTube, the number on Social Blade was actually, it was higher than what Social Blade reported, right? Because they don't know what people's CPMs are. They give you a range, right? And CPM on my channel's high. Like, man, I don't even want to talk about it, because it might upset some of y'all that, like, the number of views that I would need to get is not to, like, be full, quote unquote, full time, is not as high as, oh, you need 100,000, and no, I need a fraction of that. Like, I think at one time, I'm not even gonna say the number, but it was a fraction of 100. It's like, if I was getting 100,000 views a day, when my wife lost her little cable to her laptop, I would have been like, it's all right, baby, we'll just wake up in the morning and buy a new one. Right? I'll make that laptop money today and tomorrow. If we don't find it by Wednesday, we'll just go out and buy a new one. I'm not lying either. It's like the day I got, I think I got like 150,000 views one day. That would have almost paid for a new laptop. The one that she got, which was a pretty good laptop. I think it might be better than mine. Anyway, let's move on. All right, so Lando, everyone's favorite scoundrel, Lando Calrissian, will return in a brand new event series for Disney+. Justin Simeon, creator of the critically acclaimed Dear White People and a huge Star Wars fan, is developing the story. I'm guessing this Lando thing is when Kathleen Kennedy was like, Donald Glover is getting his own Lando movie. And I think I reported on a Lando movie or a Lando Disney Plus series back in August or July. So that's what this is. I mean, it's basically something that we've already known about. I'm wanting to know more about this Rangers of the New Republic. All right, Cassian Andor's show. We been heard about this, right? This is set before Rogue One, when Cassian is operating as a fulcrum agent. Andor, a tense, nail-biting spy thriller created by Tony Gilroy, is set to arrive on Disney Plus in 2022. Diego Luna, reprising the role of rebel spy Cassian Andor from Rogue One, will be joined by a fantastic new cast that includes Stellan Skarsgård, wasn't he it? Adria Arjona, Fiona Shaw, Dennis Go, Kyle Solar, and Genevieve O'Reilly as Mon Mothma. Oh, that's cool. Production kicked off 3 weeks ago in London, so they're already working on this. Let's check out the sizzle reel. It's pretty cool. Oh, they're not gonna let us go full screen? Alright.
Everything I did for the rebellion.
They did for the rebellion.
Rogue One, in many ways, it's a film that connected new audiences with the oldest fans.
Some people felt like Rogue One was the best of the new movies.
A bittersweet feeling, you know.
It was great, but
knowing that it was just one film.
I don't know. It depressed me, the fact that everybody died.
Happens, right?
It was a great film.
See, we're getting ready. We're building stages. We're rehearsing. We're training. We're trying costumes. We're doing everything to make sure we do the best show.
I think
I'm really excited having the chance to
Cassian is an interesting character,
though.
though.
Go on a set that is emulating something you like so much.
I think this is going to be dark. It's going to be like
a big feature film.
It's going to be dark.
For me, that's
I
what the
don't.
excitement is.
12 episodes, 12 scripts, over
12
200
episodes.
named cast members, over 6,000 crowd people.
This is like
from the creature department.
It's not even a mini movie.
Exactly like we would have filmed. There is no.
This is going to be something big,
Every
man.
creature and droid that we've been building has the same care, level of attention to detail as the previous.
Did that look like Maz Kanata?
It's huge, it's thrilling, but also it's wonderfully challenging.
There's tons of possibilities to explore. It is the building of a revolution.
Yeah, I mean, they're building a rebel alliance. And he's going deep undercover. It's going to recapture the feeling of Rogue One, like that kind of gritty darkness. I'm wondering if he might run into some surviving Jedi, because, you know, he saw Chirrut and he was like, is he Jedi? Right? It just kind of led me to believe that he's encountered a Jedi or two. I mean, maybe Ahsoka could pop up in it, because Ahsoka was, depending on when the time period is, well, yeah, depending on the time period, Ahsoka would have been around. Ahsoka could have recruited him, right? He said he'd been in the fight since he was a kid. You know, I think he was on a separatist planet, so he was fighting the Republic, and the Republic became the Empire, and he just kept fighting. So who knows? All right, so the Acolyte, this is one that a lot of people were telling me I got to comment on. So the Acolyte, Leslie Headland, Emmy Award nominated creator of the mind-bending series Russian Doll, brings a new Star Wars series to Disney Plus with The Acolyte. The Acolyte is a mystery thriller that will take the audience into a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic era. Now this, what I've heard, is supposed to be all women. It's going to be a female Sith Acolyte. Some people have said, what if we find out that Plagueis was actually a woman, right? And that the Acolyte is about Darth Plagueis, his story. Now, there's been some people, no, I want an original story. I don't want anything with Palpatine or anything like that. And I'm like, well, if it's the Acolyte, and if it's a chick, a female Lady Sith, and she's an Acolyte, then that means it's not really about Darth Plagueis and Darth Sidious. It's, how did Darth Plagueis get to be Darth Plagueis? It's the journey of the Acolyte from Acolyte to Darth, from the apprentice to Dark Lord of the Sith, right? To the person who, taught, trained, unleashed Sidious on the galaxy. That's, and the other thing is like, well, why can't we just have this original story that's just exists in its own little pocket? Even if it exists in its own little pocket, these other events that we know of are still going on in the backdrop. And there's always the possibility that they're going to impact, or it's like, not impact the story, but this person could hear about this other thing that's going on, right? I don't really understand Star Wars fans, like, think too much. They had too much time on their hands to think about like stuff that's unnecessary. I don't even know enough about this series to start getting upset about it, right? We just know it sounds like it's a bunch of women involved, and one of these women, turns to the dark side or is found by the Sith, right? And that's their journey. And whatever their journey is, it'll be interesting. It's emerging dark side powers, right, in the final days of the High Republic era. So if this person is starting to emerge and pop out and be identified by the Sith, then that means that the Sith are active and out there somewhere during the High Republic. And for me, this is what makes this interesting, is because the High Republic books start coming out in January. They were supposed to have started actually on my birthday in August. And I've kind of been like, High Republic, I thought there were going to be, books and games and movies and all media, right? And now it's just books, and well, there's some comic books, there's some kid books. The Claudia Gray book, I have a feeling it'll be really good, right? The first book that comes out is that by Charles Soule, who, did the Vader stuff, the Vader series, right? The different Vader books that had excellent stories. I can't remember. I don't know. I don't remember who's doing the first book, but I'm getting it on Kindle, probably on Audible as well. Speaking of which, hey man, you wanna get it? I think you get a 30-day trial. Use my Audible link if it still works. I don't know. Somebody click it. Tell me if it works. You don't have to sign up or anything. Just click it and tell me if it takes you somewhere, and or do you get a 404 error? Otherwise, I need to. Hey man, what happened to my Audible affiliate link? But I wasn't really that excited for it, right? The Thrawn book, I really enjoyed the first Thrawn trilogy that occurs within the timeline of Star Wars Rebels, right? I read the first one, but the rest of the other three were all Audible while I was driving. I don't drive here, so I need to get out here on my Ike and Mikey and walk for an hour a day. I don't know why I can't talk all of a sudden. Yeah, I don't know why I couldn't say walk for an hour a day and listen to some Star Wars books. I got to do something, play them while I'm skipping rope and getting them 200 kettlebell swings in, or I don't know. I was gonna say play them before I go to sleep, but I'll just go straight to sleep and let the whole book play, and that'll be the end of it, and I'll sleep through the whole thing. But I haven't really, knowing that there's the Ahsoka series, and it sounds like she's probably going to be looking for Thrawn, and I have a feeling that the Ahsoka series is going to pick up with when we see Ahsoka on the Mandalorian. It's probably going to end with Ahsoka going back, returning to Lothal to tell Sabine, yo, I know where Ezra is, let's go get him. Let's go find him. I think she's going to be tracking down Thrawn, and then it's like, all right, I know exactly where Thrawn is. Let's go get Ezra. Let me go back, get Sabine, and get a team together, and that could lead to a bigger story with whatever's going on with Thrawn and the Grisk and everything, because that's an important story. But what I was saying was I haven't read the first book. I just didn't really feel enthused about reading it. Same with the High Republic. But now seeing these, and that story is going to play out and going to be more important, right? That the Sith are somewhere, even though we're dealing with the Nile and them being able to basically control hyperspace and hold the High Republic, the Republic hostage, in a sense. If they've managed to weaponize hyperspace, that's interesting. It'll be interesting to see how the Jedi deal with it, but we know the Sith are out there, and what are they? And I always felt like, yo man, the Sith are probably pulling the strings, right? They probably are invested in whatever the Nile are doing, but the Nile might not even know that they're in bed with the Sith. And now that this Acolyte series is coming, then it's like, yo man, the Sith are there, and we're going to find out how they were involved, where they were involved, and it doesn't necessarily have to be something, the Sith are in the shadows, the Bane Order, but then these High Republic Jedis go out in the unknown regions, and then there's some Sith that they didn't know about out there, right? Because then that's like, sounds like that Mike Zero video, Snoke was the Sith no one knew existed, or whatever that shit was. Again, Snoke was a jizz stain. Alright, so Star Wars The Bad Batch. Noah and Corey are beating their chest because they told everybody that The Bad Batch was coming. I haven't even finished watching Clone Wars Season 7. The Bad Batch, they just reminded me of the A-Team or something, right? But, so I see there's a sizzle reel. This is going to decide whether I want to watch this or not. Because, no one, oh man, the Bad Batch are coming, and I was like, y'all shut the fuck up. I don't give a fuck about no damn Bad Batch. Yay, y'all broke a story. I know I gave them props a while back, but after all their bitching about the Mandalorian, it's like, man, I don't care what the Wolf Pack or whatever the fuck they call themselves. I don't care what they break ever again, right? Them bitching about the Mandalorian trailer and we didn't see Ahsoka. I'm like, see, that's why, like, you know, like I've kind of given Stupendous Wave shit about being young, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to listen to him because he's young, right? But I don't think he does stuff like that, right? I don't think he just sits there and complains. Sometimes he gets like stuff, he says stuff, and I'm like, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, and I think it's probably wrong, but your audience loves you, so they're not going to call you out about it. But if I repeat it, and I did that once, people are going to give me hell, right? If I, and it's like, well, I was repeating what I heard this person say, and y'all love him, but you'll crucify me. So that's when I was like, all right, that's the real reason I stopped watching Stupendous Wave, because I was like, I might repeat something he says and get and catch shit about it. And I was like, I got to be my own source, right? I got to be my own source. His audience is probably around his age, and he's a legal adult now. I don't think he was when he first blew up, right? But even still, I mean, like I said a while back, Stupendous Wave is young enough to be my son, so, you know, it is what it is, right? Well, I'm not hating on his channel. It's just, you know, some people want apple juice and some people want hard apple cider, and I like hard apple cider. I hadn't had any since I've been in Thailand because I don't know where you buy it. I think it might be expensive, but you know, if it's imported, I need to check on that. I really could go for a hard apple cider on a Friday, just kick back. I'm gonna have to check and see if, you know what, they wouldn't have it here. I noticed that at the 7-Eleven, they don't have European Red Bull or American Red Bull. All they have is Thai Red Bull. I noticed that. And my wife was like, yeah, it's no foreigners here. They don't have all that stuff that you like. So I'm gonna have to find the 7-Eleven where all the Falang guys are. You know, see if they got a hard apple cider one day. Just kick back, watch that new Ip Man movie that for some reason you can only rent, you can't buy it. Drink the apple cider, watch some kung fu, and then maybe post a reaction review video to that Ip Man movie on my other channel, because for some reason YouTube doesn't like when I talk about kung fu movies on this channel, so looks like I can't even do that anymore. But anyway, so this Bad Batch, the series follows the elite and experimental clones of the Bad Batch, first introduced in the Clone Wars, as they find their way in a rapidly changing galaxy in the immediate aftermath of the Clone War. Members of the Bad Batch, a unique squad of clones who vary genetically from their brothers in the Clone Army, each possess a singular, exceptional skill which makes them extraordinarily effective soldiers and a formidable crew. In the post-Clone War era, they will take on daring mercenary missions as they struggle to stay afloat and find a new purpose. The animated series will arrive exclusively on Disney+. I heard Fennec Shand is supposed to be in this, so that's wondering if she appears in this little teaser. I mean, it looks cool. Like, it looks really good, just like season 7 of the Clone Wars looked really good. So this will be interesting. They're mercs. I mean, they're basically the A-Team. It's a cartoon about the A-Team set in Star Wars. So, I mean, they obviously didn't have the inhibitor chips and all of that, so they weren't part of Order 66. And yeah, I think I just saw Fennec Shand. Yeah, that was Fennec Shand. So that'll be interesting that, Fennec Shan ran with the Bad Batch some way, shape, or form, and then we see her again with Boba Fett. I don't know, it looks like it might be a fun thing if you like the Bad Batch and Clone Troopers and want to know that part of the story. It looks cool, but like I said, I haven't even watched all of season 7, so yeah. Alright, so Star Wars Visions, presenting all new creative takes on the galaxy far, far away. Star Wars Visions will be a series of animated short films celebrating Star Wars through the lens of the world's best anime creators. The anthology collection will bring 10 fantastic visions from several of the leading Japanese anime studios, offering a fresh and diverse cultural perspective to Star Wars. So if you like anime, this probably, I don't know, it's supposed to be short films, anime versions of those. The little thing that they've been doing with taking stuff from the movies and making them animated, I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, there's these, I'm just going to, some of the dickheads, they haven't liked it, haven't approved of it, but I mean, who cares what they think? I thought it was pretty cool. All right, A Droid Story. As Lucasfilm continues to develop new stories, the intersection of animation and visual effects offers new opportunities to explore. Lucasfilm Animation will be teaming up with Lucasfilm's visual effects team, Industrial Light and Magic, to develop a special Star Wars adventure for Disney+, A Droid Story. This epic journey will introduce us to a new hero guided by a legendary duo R2-D2 and C-3PO. I'm wondering if this is going to be the droid, the little droid that had been abused in The Rise of Skywalker. What was it, Dio or something? D10. Or if there's a new droid, maybe Chopper makes a cameo. When I first heard A Droid Story, I thought of that old cartoon that had R2 and C-3PO, and every week they have a new master. And I don't remember if they were like trying to find their way back to Luke Skywalker or something like that, but I thought it would be something like that, and it kind of sounds like it will be. So I'm hoping Anthony Daniels is going to be part of this. I just can't see there being C-3PO without Anthony Daniels, but like I've said, at some point Star Wars, some of these iconic characters, you have to be willing to move on from the original actors that portrayed them. So we'll see, but I'm guessing they probably have enough of Anthony Daniels where he's probably coming in and they can digitally recreate his voice if he so wishes to do that, and at some point they could have a new person in the suit and still have Anthony Daniels voicing C-3PO, or who knows, one day we might actually have a robot, like an actual droid, with Anthony Daniels' voice, which would be cool. So these are other Lucasfilm projects. Willow, Children of Blood and Bone. Oh, that's the best. I thought there was like Blood and Bone. So there was a lot of cool stuff to come out, especially Marvel stuff. That really would have to be its own video. And I'm thinking if I do anything with Marvel, MCU, those videos underperformed here. I may do those as podcasts and like turn these longer videos into a podcast and upload it where podcasts go. And then all the other non-Star Wars stuff will just be podcast stuff, so it won't be on YouTube. So, I'd have to go find that information. I know there's a lot of stuff about Black Panther. Well, not a lot. We got the news about them not recasting Chadwick Boseman. I have some thoughts on that. I said, you need to recast him. I think the last video I did on the topic, I was like, the dude I follow on Twitter, who's a comic book person, was like, well, they can deal with the loss of Chadwick Boseman and have Black Panther 2 kind of be this heavy crossover thing where it's like almost a mini Avengers movie. And, for whatever reason, T'Challa is not there, right? And so you got to call in all these other heavy hitters or minor hitters or whatever, whatever the story is, it's set up heading into Black Panther 2 to deal with it, because, yo, man, we don't know where T'Challa is. And then when you come back in the next Black Panther movie, then you have a new actor as T'Challa. It gives the audience and everyone else time to deal with Chadwick Boseman's passing. But I still feel like there's more story to be told with the character. And I don't believe that Chadwick Boseman would want someone else to not have the opportunity to play such an iconic character. And I mean, honestly, it's kind of jacked up that you have a character that's that iconic, right? Black Panther, this black superhero that Stan Lee created, right, during the if I'm not mistaken, he created him in the midst of the civil rights struggle. And here you are, this proud guy. He's like Captain America, and he's a king, right? He's Black Batman, but he's got powers. Batman doesn't have any powers. He's, a super powered being, maybe not, on the level of these cosmic level people, but he's intelligent. He's got tech that nobody else has. His sister is one of the most intelligent people, on Earth, and she's behind his tech, at least in the movie. I don't know about Shuri in the comic books, right? And then he's got his own bodyguard. He's got a whole nation behind him, right? And he's a king. And now we're going to get rid of a character like that. We're just going to, because Chadwick Boseman passed, we can't have anybody else play him. That's it. That's the end, right? I mean, what kind of message are you sending to people who see themselves in that character, right? We let Captain America have his journey. And then when his journey ended, people are fighting over the right to carry the shield and to be Captain America. We got one guy who actually has the super soldier serum in his system, but is he the good man that Cap was? And then we have the man who refused to take the serum, right? But Cap looked into him and looked at his character and was like, I want you to be my successor, right? So I don't know. There's a lot to unpack there. There's a lot of deep stuff, but yo, man, I don't want to get off into that because we're talking Star Wars. These shows sound pretty dope. The only issue is, when are they coming, right? This, I want to call it Rogue Squadron. Well, yeah, it is. I was about to call it Rogue One. Rogue Squadron is not coming out, for 3 years. Some of these shows are 2 years away. The Mandalorian is about to wrap up this week, and then it won't come back for another year. What are they going to do? When are some of these shows ahead of schedule? Have they been filming Ahsoka without us knowing, and maybe that's going to come out this summer? Like, what are they going to do to tide everyone over? Because, we got all these High Republic books coming. I know Charles Soule, it was either him or the other guy who's, I can't think of his name. I retweeted him and I comment because he was like, yo, man, everybody's hyped about, they're like, the future of Star Wars is on the small screen on Disney Plus. And he was like, no, Star Wars is every medium, books, comic books, toys, games, shows, and movies, audio dramas, audio books. And I was like, you're right. But unfortunately, these movies and these shows are king. That's what is going to get the bulk of the audience. I'm still sitting here trying to explain to people, that, hey, man, did you know that Chuck Wendig was setting up Palpatine to return in the Aftermath books? And I didn't think he would return in this trilogy, but I thought it's possible Palpatine might come back after all of this is over with. I was thinking he'd come back after all of this is over with. Maybe, after, if they say, we're still going to do, the Skywalker saga's over, but we're still going to do Star Wars 10, 11, and 12, but it's now no longer the Skywalker saga, right? Or, you know, maybe we'll call the next 3 movies, the next trilogy, something else. Star Wars this, Star Wars The Return of Palpatine. I don't know. Palpatine's Revenge, right? The Ghost from Beyond. I don't know. But I felt like, you know, there would be a bigger bad guy than Kylo Ren. That he would be the ultimate evil by the end of it, and that he would survive. The First Order would fall. Kylo Ren survives. And then he has to go off licking his wounds, and he's looking to become more powerful. And then he finds out, I thought I was the baddest thing there is, but there's something badder than me. And I'm not going to be able to take it down. Maybe they whooped me, and I'm afraid. And that's what pushes him back to the light. Right? I wasn't totally against a redemption story. Just a redemption in 3 movies when it really wasn't. You had to set up his redemption in a book that even people who read it kind of missed it. You know, that Rey was like, oh, he'll learn in time that, you know, you can't fully exert your will on the Force, right? As Plagueis told Palpatine, the Force always strikes back. But, you know, like I said in the video before we moved, I'm like, you can't look back on mistakes, what you think are mistakes in the sequel saga, because you can't look back on anything in life and you're like, oh, that was a mistake. Oh, I shouldn't have done. You can, but it's not helpful. The only thing you can do is look at what happened, look at the outcome, and learn from it, right? The fact that we're getting more Star Wars because those 3 movies that people keep remind me every day how much they think they suck. Remember I said that they think, not they actually do, right? You got to learn how to, the person who's, no, Prince, they really do. You got to learn how to separate your own opinion from something that just is, right? Good, bad, those are all, you know, those all depend on who's doing the evaluating, right? People who love the sequel trilogy, who think that it's awesome, who love The Rise of Skywalker, people that saw The Rise of Skywalker 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, right? And loved it more each time they saw it. And just because you're not one of them, you can't discount their own experience, right? It's like an atheist says there's nothing out there, but a person who's a mystic is like, well, how do you know? Well, just because I know. Well, you know, well, what about these experiences? Well, your experiences are delusions. Well, how do you know? You haven't had the experience, right? The only person who can evaluate the authenticity of the experience is the one who experienced it, right? But I'm getting a little bit too deep for some people. I know the Acolyte squad, I know y'all like these kind of conversations, but, you know, sometimes we get some dickheads on the channel and, you know, I start dropping these bombs and they don't have the mental, you know, capacity to comprehend it, right? So, you know, Jeremy, you know, I know you're leaving little comments on your little ghost accounts that you want me to apologize to you about how you got kicked off of Twitter. You know, I'm a liar and this and that. You know, how come when Doomcock reports a rumor that's not true, that he probably made up or he stole from 4chan or Reddit, and I call him on it, but he said it's just a rumor. You know, I didn't make up what I said about Jeremy. Other people said it. I just repeated it. I didn't even know Jeremy got kicked off of Twitter until somebody else talked about it. Some other people talked about it, right? So y'all need to quit calling me a liar and this and that. I heard Jeremy or somebody, one of those fandominist dick suckers, dissed me. They showed my receipts or whatever the fuck y'all are talking about. That's nice. It hadn't stopped me from sleeping. You know, I've been exposed. Really? If I've been exposed, how come people have to come and tell me that I've been exposed? You know, If you want to expose me, wear a mask, get COVID, take your COVID vaccine, come to Bangkok and smack me in the mouth, and see how that works out for you, right? I'm not threatening I'm not making any kind of threat, right? I'm just inviting you. You want to expose me? Come to Thailand, do it. See how that works out for you, you know? I hope, just make sure my wife isn't around, because if you threaten a Thai citizen in the Kingdom of Thailand, it's not going to work out good. It's not going to work out for you, bro. You don't want to know what happens in Thai prisons. You don't get your own personal cell. They put you with about 10 other dudes. Some of them former Thai boxers, and yeah, they put all kind of shrimp up in your pad Thai, homeboy. It's not gonna work out for you. So whoever, because I know there have been several people. Somebody made the Urban Acolyte is retard video. Urban Acolyte sold his soul for The Last Jedi. Hey man, y'all make all the videos you want about me. I mean, I'm not gonna watch them, and the only reason I even know about them was because I was checking. I was doing a search on my name just to see what comes up, right? Were there people making responses to my videos? And, you know, I saw a few and I'm like, oh, that's nice. You know, who cares? I'm not going to watch it. Nobody's going to watch it except for, you know, you and your little I Hate Prince fan club. And I mean, personally, I'm too smart to walk around and a guy comes up and says, hey, Prince, I'm going to kick you in the balls. And I'm just standing there and let him do it. No. So, you know, if y'all want to waste your time doing that, good luck. I hope it makes a lot of money. Right. But I'm too small of a channel. And even if I were a big channel, it wouldn't work out for you either. Because I'd just say, hey, y'all, go check out this video. Everybody watch it, so that one video like eclipses all the other videos that somebody makes. And it's like, well, how come nobody watches this other stuff, right? That when you do that, all it'll do, unless like you have a plan, it just it's worthless content, right? If I diss somebody, I'm dissing them for a reason. It's not just, oh, I'm dissing you, oh, I'm jealous, ooh. No, it's I need to improve the click-through rate on my videos. And I know if I diss this person, or I know if I make this video a certain kind of way, that whenever this person's videos post, then my video is going to appear next to theirs from now on, right? Now, sometimes it's not a good strategy, because I've done that to channels, and it turns out their audience is not the audience that I want on my videos, right? You know, the big takeaway, some of y'all just need to learn how YouTube works, right? You might have a successful channel. That doesn't necessarily mean you know how YouTube works. It's just you've managed to get lucky. And I don't mean luck like, oh, it's more like you figured out a way to do something without actually knowing why it works or how it works. That's what I mean by lucky. You figured out how to make content that your audience wants to see, but you don't actually know why that works, right? Meaning you wouldn't be able to repeat it doing something else. And that's what ultimately what I want to do, right? You know, I've heard, oh, Prince, you suck, and none of the big channels ever shout you out. It's like, well, I mean, what are you calling a big channel? Because, you know, I was having a conversation with a dude that's got like a Star Wars channel with 5 million subscribers. Oh, you're lying, Prince. Nobody has 5 million subscribers. It's not an English channel, partner. Right? So maybe it's not, it might be 500,000. I don't remember. It's 5,500,000. Doesn't matter. It's not an English channel. I don't watch them because I don't speak the language that channel is in, but that's a big Star Wars channel. Right? Or I might say 5 million because I'm thinking of my friend here who's got several channels of over 1 million subscribers. I think his biggest channel is 5 million. He's one of the biggest Thailand YouTubers. But if you don't speak Thai and you're not like a 13-year-old girl, you're probably not watching his daughter's channel, right? And you're like, what does that have to do with it? Well, we talk business, and whether you're making a channel for 13-year-old girls or a channel for 35-year-old guys, the business of running the channel is the same. So, you know, people, well, you're not on this person's channel. You don't collab with this person. Nobody shouts you out. It's like, well, I talk to people about YouTube business, and just because they're not in my niche and I don't hang out with people in my niche, that doesn't mean a damn thing. I might be talking with people about, you got a 6-figure brand deal. How did you do that? Right? Why do I want to hang out with Star Wars people who all have channels that rely on Star Wars? If there's nothing happening in Star Wars and no news, everybody's channel like takes a hit. Well, except for Mike Zero's, because he just makes up the news, and Doomcock too. He definitely makes up the news, right? So unless you're those two where they just make us like, well, if there's nothing to talk about, I'll make something up. Then, you're going to take a hit. And, in the bigger picture of things, if you're one of the people who makes things up, where do you go from there? What is your business model, right? Well, what's going to happen when your credibility is completely ruined? What are you going to do? Like Mike Zero, he ruined his credibility with Dragon Ball, so then he jumped to Star Wars, right? Doomcock, Star Trek, Star Wars, and as long as there's this geek culture alt-right movement that's thriving, he could take advantage of that. But what happens when that movement finally dies down and people get sick of it? And they're like, well, 2024 is coming around. Trump is definitely not going to run again. That's if he doesn't go to jail. I know somebody will be upset about that. I don't give a shit either way. I'm not in the U.S. If it were my choice, I wouldn't return. So American politics after this election, I don't care anymore. Just don't fuck up the dollar to the bot, like the exchange rate, and don't make it hard for me to get a new passport. That's about it. Don't mess up the relations between the U.S. and Thailand. Really, after that, I don't care, right? So all of this stuff is like irrelevant to me. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, y'all, I'm really hot. I want to turn the AC back on until I get a silent fan in here. This light is hot. I'm thirsty, and I've run out of things to say about this. I'm looking forward to these projects, though. The only thing is, like I said, probably 30 or 40 minutes ago, what's happening in 2021? What do they have for us in this coming year? Because all of these things sound like they're 2 years away, right? The Obi-Wan series starts filming in January, or they're filming now in Boston, not Boston, Massachusetts, but 100 miles outside of London, in England, which means it sounds to me like they're going to be using Pinewood Studios over there, not the one in Atlanta. Cassian Andor series is filming now, right there. They're under production, 12 episodes. The Bad Batch, that could come next year. They're probably already, right, they're probably finishing it up. But I don't know, maybe it's dope. I hope it is. Right now, I don't really want to watch it. The Acolyte, when is that coming? I don't know. Where are they in production? That might still be in the planning stages. They might not even start filming it till next fall, next summer, right? Who knows? I'm excited for that one, but I don't know. Patty Jenkins' movie is 3 years out, right? And what did it say? Like it's gonna... what was it? What was the line? It's going to move the saga into the future era of the galaxy. What does that mean? What does that mean? Right? That means it's going to push the story the story continuing after the rise of Skywalker. What's the next threat there? Why are they called Rogue Squadron? What is that? Is that setting up post, like I said, post rise of Skywalker? There's the First Order has a First Order remnant, the Sith cultist remnant, the Final Order remnant, or is there somebody new? Maybe the Grisk invasion has finally come to the known galaxy, right? They've crushed the Chiss, or Grand Admiral Thrawn is still out there, and the Chiss age differently from regular humanoids, and you know, he's leading the call. Who knows? That would be quite awesome. And then, you know, bring the story full circle. We get Ezra Bridger leading and teamed up with the Chiss Ascendancy and helping to rebuild the New Republic and linking back up with Rey and Finn and Poe. And maybe their stories don't happen in the movies, but they're happening in the background somewhere. Ooh, I got a lot of stuff to say about Ezra Bridger that I've been holding off on saying since like May. April or May. It's gonna come out eventually. I'll give y'all a tease though. Ezra Bridger's gonna be the future of Star Wars. All that Luke Skywalker shit that people are mad about, y'all need to stick your thumbs in your asses, stick your other thumb in your mouth, and shut the fuck up. Because Ezra Bridger is about to get all that Luke Skywalker shit. Look at what Dave Filoni's doing. In Dave I trust. When I told you Dave Filoni's gonna fix all this shit, and people are telling me I'm delusional, no motherfucker, that's the reason people watch me and nobody knows who the hell you are. All that Luke Skywalker, Master Luke, right? Luke is the most powerful this and that. Well, he had the potential. Ezra Bridger's powerful too. Maybe he doesn't have the blood of that mighty Skywalker blood, but he's that dude. By the end of Rebels, he was that dude. He took Thrawn off the map, right? Ezra's gonna find his own way to do it, to get it done. I'm telling y'all, man, Ezra Bridger's the future of Star Wars. That's all I'm gonna say. You're gonna have to wait and find out why I'm saying this. But all that legend shit that Luke Skywalker got, all that legend shit is happening in Ezra Bridger's story, right? When I was like, is Ezra Bridger the Star Killer character? Well, Ezra Bridger got Star Killer's story too. And so did Ahsoka, right? Think about it. What's the story that Dave Filoni's writing? He's writing Ahsoka Tano looking for Grand Admiral Thrawn so that she can find Ezra Bridger. And what's going to happen when she finds a way to locate Thrawn and goes back for Sabine? And then what happens, right? Are we going to get the Rebel spin-off that Noah and Corey have been saying is coming, but who knows? Maybe. What's going to happen then? Where is Ezra? Where's Ahsoka? Why did Ahsoka reach out to Rey on Exegol, and Dave Filoni, you know, show us Ahsoka the White with Gandalf, and it's like, you know, they thought I was dead too, and people think that was talking about Ahsoka, you know, almost on not Mustafar, Malachor. No, he's talking about the rise of Skywalker, because Ahsoka's still around, she's still alive. She found a way to reach out to Rey, right? Why wasn't it Ezra? I don't know. Because Ahsoka has a relationship with the light side of the Force and with the Mortis gods, right? Or maybe they didn't have Ezra's voice because they didn't want to blow the load on his story, right? Because they've been planning this stuff in advance, years in advance. Dave has. I'm telling y'all. Ezra Bridger is the future of Star Wars. That's all I'm going to say about this topic. That's all I got for this video. So thanks for watching. Y'all keep on breathing. May the force of others be with you. Always.